Great, thank you. Boy, there's no pressure. MCC, been coaching a long time, no pressure, Brianna. So let me just say first and foremost, thank you for being willing to be a client and to be coached today. That's not always easy to do. And for those that are listening that have not experienced coaching, please know that anytime that we are working with clients, confidentiality is key. So the conversation here is really meant to be confidential. Excuse me, that's always following ethical guidelines. And I will say to you, Brianna, thank you. We've not met before, so that those that are listening recognize that. Pablo mentioned MCC and got lots of experience. I'm human. So I don't know what quality of MCC you're going to get today. I want people to recognize that I might do some things really well, and there might be some places that you kind of think, oh, really? Did she just do that? It's because I'm human and I'm willing to be vulnerable. So with all that being said, Rihanna, thank you yet again for being here. What is the topic that you're bringing to our session today?
Yeah, I guess I'll just give you the cliff notes. Yeah, I think that I'm a single mom and I run my own company, and that company requires basically like 24/7 care. Um, my kids are older, but I do homeschool as well. I get to work mostly remotely. So I have a lot going on. And I'm really struggling with single-handedly keeping this particular food delivery app in business because I'm so overwhelmed and exhausted that I'm just like consistently ordering out. And it's winter, which is a slower time for my company. And I just have no business. I have no business ordering food. But I feel like I'm at a point in life right now where I'm kind of only able to do everything a bit half-assed, because I'm just have to be everywhere at once and there's not another me. And my kids' kind of love language is food. And I'm not in a position to like cook them their favorite things all the time. And so yeah, it's kind of like a lot of layers that kind of, but the 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 main symptom I'm dealing with is ordering this food, and it needs to stop or slow down in some way. And so that's what I would like to talk about today.
Well, if we can just use that metaphor with food, then your plate is really full.
Yes.
You mentioned the word overwhelm. What does that mean for you, Brianna?
Um, it feels like I'm not, uh, it feels like I'm constantly not enough. I'm not enough to get everything done. I think that's what it feels like a like a panic of not enough, and everybody's going to find out, and just failing all the time, really. That's what it feels like.
Is it true that you're failing all the time?
Probably not all the time. No, that's probably not true all the time.
Is it true that you're failing?
No, I feel like I'm doing just enough, like just enough to not be failing. I feel like I'm holding it mostly together, but it's not in like a sustainable way.
Mhm. And correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like there's a weightedness to that for you as well.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's the impact of that?
Mm, Physically, exhausting. I'm just coming off like having pneumonia. So my body's kind of revolting a little bit. Um, I'm not able to really like show up as well as I would like to emotionally as a mom because I'm not as present as I would like to be. I would say those are the two big things.
Mhm. Yeah, and I can really hear how important it is for you to be mom.
Yeah.
It also sounds like there's a super mom thing going on too. I don't know. Like, is there a cape behind you with a big S on your chest? I don't know.
No, there's not. No, I'm just trying to raise these humans, and it's a big job, as most moms know.
Yeah. Yeah. I can identify with that part. I'll tell you. You mentioned the word enough, Brianna, a couple of times. How do you determine what's enough?
I don't know. Like I feel like I don't know. Like I understand that I'm like just like an imperfect human and all the things. I just feel I see so many people out there like getting things done and doing it all. And I feel like I'm like tired and frazzled and um I don't know. I feel like whatever I have isn't enough. Like that's what I feel like. And I can't think of one thing that can be dropped. So it's um yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know to your question.
I'm sorry.
I said I don't know to your question.
And maybe that's where I was getting that sense of the S on your chest with the cape behind you, the super mom. You just said there are people out there getting it all done. How do you know that to be true?
I mean, I guess I don't know what's going on internally with everyone. Um, Maybe they're doing a great job of just looking like they have it all together. I don't know. There's always like that underlying guilt of like somebody is not getting what they should be getting from me, whether that's a client or my daughter or my son or myself, even. It feels like there's always somebody not getting what they should be getting. Yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know the solution. I really don't know.
Well, and you mentioned that word guilt, which seems to be something that shows up for moms when they're trying to do it all or think they need to be doing it all.
100%.
Based on the fact we have a very short time today, Brianna, what would be a useful action of some sort for you to walk away with from our conversation today?
I don't think the overwhelm is going anywhere. I just feel like there has to be some sort of practical, easy solution that I can wrap my brain around to not consistently just go right to that app and order food. Like there has to be some sort of I don't know. There has to be some sort of self-control button that I can use. Um, yeah.
It feels like you're making the app wrong somehow, or the
Oh,
use
it's
of the app
fantastic.
wrong. I'm sorry.
I said it's fantastic. It's a fantastic app. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
my apologies. I should have rephrased that as the use of the app as wrong somehow. The app is great.
App is fantastic.
Using it too much, not so much. Okay. So it's the use, the amount of use on the app that is what's concerning you most. But more than that, it's the implication of, meaning you're
Yes.
not cooking the kids the meals that you would want to prepare for them, how it is that you connect with them through food, etc.
Yes.
There's a deeper level to all of this than just the app.
Oh, 100%. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So how do you want to go about exploring this topic?
I have no idea. I would love to leave this conversation just feeling like I have a little bit more control, like a little bit more control of the chaos that equals then using the app to order food and spend money that I shouldn't be spending. Because that just equals more chaos in my mind at night about that. So I feel like of all the things that are chaos, this is probably the easiest one to tackle, and also like doing the most like financial harm. So I feel like it's just easy to try to think about how I can get on top of this at night when I'm tired. Yeah, I just want to feel a little bit more sense of control.
What does control mean for you?
Like I got this, like confident, like I have this, I can do this. Um, Instead of like that made like what I just said, like when I'm exhausted and I just feel like I can't do this, like the opposite of that. I want to feel like I want to feel all the benefits of like, you know, sitting down and eating together and being in the kitchen together and not feel like, ugh, that feels terrible. I want to feel like that feels great. That's good, you know,
Mhm,
like reframing, I guess, my attitude towards the whole thing
mhm,
when my body is tired.
mhm. I can really hear how important this family is to you, and that you really want to present the most positive experience possible for yourself and your kids.
Yes.
When I asked you about what was in your control, you said, that I can go to bed at night and not have to think about that. My mind doesn't go wherever because I'm so exhausted. Would it be useful to think about what is in your control? Or is there something else that might be more useful for you?
That might be helpful. That might be helpful.
Okay.
I don't know. What is in control? My control. Um, I feel like I'm in control over my core values. Like I'm in control of those things. Hence my desire to do the right thing in this big but tiny aspect of life of using the app. Um, I'm very much in control of how I treat others. Um, I'm somewhat in control of trying to take care of myself so that I can take care of others. I mean, I'm not lying in bed all day, even though sometimes I want to. So I feel like I have a pretty good control over that. Yeah, those are big things.
They're huge.
Yeah,
It sounds like being in alignment with your values is really important for you.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Mhm.
What's happening for you right now?
Um, it's nice to look at those things, um, and feel good about it.
Mhm.
Because I do, I constantly feel like I'm falling short. So to be able to strongly say, like, I don't fall short in like staying true to my core values or showing up for my kids or my friends, like that feels good to acknowledge that.
And I get the sense you don't give yourself permission to do that very often.
No, I don't. I'm just like I'm just like the workhorse. So no, I don't take a minute to do that, to tell myself those things. No.
Yeah. And it looks like giving yourself permission to step into that is really important for you.
Yeah, I probably should make it more important. I should probably prioritize that.
Oh, there's that awful word.
No.
Should. There's more to put on
Yeah,
your plate with
another
that
should.
word, Brianna. Sorry.
I said, yeah, another should. That's perfect.
Yeah, and just move something on that plate to put that
Yeah,
on there too.
check that off. Yeah.
Yeah. What if you were to, you said, how I frame this. What if you were to reframe how you're looking at using the app so that you felt more in control? What might that look like?
That is a good question. I don't know. Man, I don't know how I would reframe that. Um, it's so useful. It's such a useful tool. And I don't mind like using it even like a couple times a week or a few times a week. Um, it really saves me in some moments. It
I
really
can hear
does.
that.
It really does.
I-
Um,
I'm not suggesting not to use it.
no, I know. Yeah, I know.
It's
Yeah.
about reframing how you think about.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe like reframing it like today's not an app day, but Thursday is. Thursday's coming close. Like you're going to get a break on Thursday. Like you could do this today, you know? Maybe something like that. Maybe like it's just not today, but you have it on the books that you get Thursday night off. Like you don't even have to think about it. So then there's no like guilt involved because it's just a planned thing. Just like, chicken is I'm making on Tuesday or like whatever it is. Maybe just reframing it that way.
Mhm.
Um, so that there's not that like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to. and then just ordering and then feeling the shame and the guilt that I just ordered. It's on the books. And then my soul knows I'll get a break in a couple days or the next night or like whenever it is because it's on the books. That feels really actually kind of safe for me to think about.
It feels safe.
Yeah. It feels like if it's like a scheduled thing, then there's no guilt around it at all. So I don't have to go through that whole like mental process of all of that. Should I order? What's like I really could do XYZ, like, and then all that bad self-talk, all that goes into it of like you failed again, just ordered again. Like all of that. And then man, I really can't afford this. I really can't, like all those thoughts. Like that's a lot. That's a big roller coaster ride mentally over something kind of dumb, right? um so it just feels safer in that way of like you're that can happen and it is on it's in this within the schedule and we can make a budget around it basically if I'm only having it on a schedule. It just yeah, it just feels safe. That's the only word I can really think about. Yeah, it just feels safe. Like there's no shame there, there's nothing negative. It's just that's the day we get to order, kids. What do you want? You know? And they know and I know. And it's just how it is. It gives me that sense of control for sure.
Mm. It feels like you just gave yourself permission.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really helpful.
And recognizing what you're doing well versus coming from a place of falling short.
Yeah. Mm,
I'd love to have more time with you, Brianna.
me
You're
too.
telling me that no, that's not happening. So to honor everyone's time with the few moments we have left, what's been most meaningful for you from the conversation today?
Um, I like what you said about like I'm giving myself permission. Like I am like I'm giving myself permission to do this thing and I shouldn't have like shame or guilt over it. And I'm also showing up in a lot of ways I wasn't thinking about before our conversation. I am like not falling short in some big areas and I should feel good about that and not have a so much exhausting like poor self-talk internally
Mhm.
going on because I'm doing I'm doing pretty good actually. Like my kids are alive. My company's working, like it's doing all the things. So um yeah, I just feel less bad about myself. So thank you.
I hope you're feeling good about yourself. From the outside, you look like one of the people that has it all together from someone who's never met you before. I applaud what it is that you have, that which you're putting together on a day to day, that you're not in bed, that you are getting up and doing your stuff. What would be something that would be a reminder that you could use of what you just shared? So that on a day or at a time when you're feeling less good about yourself, that you could remind yourself that I'm doing just fine. What could be something that you could offer yourself?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just something as simple as like after this call, like writing those things down. Yeah, like just writing them down and kind of having them somewhere, having that somewhere visible to myself. Um,
Like where?
I don't know. It's coming to me like maybe like on my bathroom mirror or something, or like on
Oh,
the fridge, or even
look
like,
at that, two spots.
yeah,
Where else might you put them?
um, maybe on my desk. Um, yeah, maybe on my nightstand, maybe
Look
in
at
all of
this.
them.
Look at this. Now, I heard a lot of maybes. You know, one of my favorite guys is Yoda. Do or do not, there is no try. So I'm going to hold you to this. How can you change your language of maybe to they will sit or I will see them?
Okay, that's kind of a maybe.
It is a maybe. Good on you.
I will put them on the fridge because that's kind of what we're talking about here. And I will put them on my bathroom mirror. I'll put them in two places, and
And when will you do that?
I'll do that today.
Awesome.
Today.
Brianna, I can't thank you enough for your willingness to be open and vulnerable. This was not easy. I so appreciate it. We've not met before. If there's anything more that I can do to support you after our conversation today, please feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to support you in any way.
Thanks, Anne. I really appreciate it too. Thank you very
Mm,
much.
my pleasure.
Okay.
I went over time. My apologies, Pablo.
No worries at all, and no worries at all. Brianna, thank you so much for bringing yourself forward today and being authentic and vulnerable with us today. And then thank you so much for a beautiful demonstration of a coaching session. So thank you both. That was very nice. Um, and yes, I'm seeing in the chat a few questions. So first of all, I wanted to ask, I wanted just to say how the flow, I experienced that flow of um, identifying the issue, Brianna, um, and Anne, you know, with exploratory questions, identify what is it, what's there, and then finding those, helping Brianna find kind of some of those options. So that was beautiful. Thank you so much, both of you. I'd like to open it up to questions. Does anybody have questions about what you experience right now with Anne and Brianna? What are some of the um, what are some of the qualifications that you saw came up during the session? So ask away, please. I'm just going to share my screen again so that everybody can see the slides here one more time. All right, can everybody see that? This one. All right, can everybody see that? Yeah. So I'm looking at some of the chat here. First of all, before we go there, Brianna, do you want to debrief a little bit about what was your experience like? What did you get out? And you asked a question, but anything else you want to add to that?
I feel like, I mean, I knew I was going to be recorded today. I've been coached lots of times. You know, and I knew I was going to be recorded, so I thought I was picking like a less vulnerable topic.
Mm-hmm.
But so I would say I really appreciated Anne's ability to use silence. Like it makes me want to be better at using that in my own coaching for sure. Um, because even though I felt like I was kind of dangling in the wind a little bit, it it really it also feels like she was really holding space for me to work through things in my mind. Yeah, I think that is a piece that was really powerful for me. Really, really, really great use of just holding space with silence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed that too, and I'm seeing at the chat people really related to that piece, Anne and Brianna, and I think that is one of the hardest things for a coach to hold, is just letting that space be. So I noticed that was very powerful. And Anne, do you have anything to say about it? Anything you want to add to
Uh, no. Holding,
that?
holding space is, I think, one of the greatest tools and techniques. It falls under two different competencies, and there's a reason for that. It is a skill that we are meant to develop. It's also a tool or technique for us to use to not jump in. And so I think what it does is really demonstrates that you have a belief that your client is capable, resourceful, and whole. You know, Brianna is an amazing human being with lots going on in her life. How is it that we can see her perhaps in the way that she doesn't always see herself? And when we can do that through holding space, it's amazing what comes up. She was a great example of that today.
Mm, mm. Yeah, nicely put. And that, you brought that to the table today, Brianna, which was, I think it's a gift for all of us here watching today to see that being played out in real life. Because most of these sessions are usually one-on-one. So it really is a gift, at least for me, to see that happen as an outsider, as an observer. So thank you. Just want to read a little bit what's going on here in the chat. So Cassandra says, I noticed the pauses rather than trying to jump and solve the problem as initially described, right? So really opening up that space. I noticed a lot of pauses on the coach side, which gives the coachee time to think. Nice one. Okay. And that was from Queen Angelica or Angie. I saw Anne actively listening, showing empathy and curiosity, also redirecting the attention to finding a solution or a different perspective that helped Brianna to move forward. Absolutely. That was beautiful. Michelle, Anne used a full plate, yes. Yeah, the metaphor, as a metaphor. From the beginning, and her ability to take Brianna's language and use it with her to clarify what her words really meant to her. Very masterful and wonderful to see the powerful of that demonstrated. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I noticed that too. And you kind of grabbed that, you connected with Brianna right away using her own language, which is beautiful. Mm-hmm. Anything else out there, Lucy? Anybody on other chats other than just the Zoom link or the Zoom chat here?
No, for now.
For now, okay. All right. One question I do have, just to bring into context, we just witnessed a one-on-one session with Brianna. And this is a question for you, Anne. And it's a question that I get a lot, which is, how would a corporate session be different from this? Like, let's say you're coaching within a corporate environment, what would be different?
If Brianna, well, I'm not going to say if. It sounds like Brianna is very much a professional. She runs her own business. The situations that those in a corporate setting will bring don't typically differ from my experience, meaning we're dealing with human beings. Whatever it is that she's experiencing today, I believe Brianna started with, I feel overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed. That's very typical in a corporate setting as well. The circumstances may be different, but the feelings, the emotions that someone is experiencing can be very different. And we're dealing with human beings. So what is it that they're going through? What's the impact of that? How is it that they'd like to move forward? What are the challenges that they're facing? And I think sometimes we get caught with trying to be very what focused, the solution versus focusing on the client. Who is my client? What is it that she's dealing with? What's the impact of this for her? What difference would it make when she's able to navigate through it? And once they've had a place that they can think things through in a space that is non-judgmental, they'll figure the what and the how out on their own, just as Brianna did today. I didn't suggest, I didn't lead her anywhere. She figured this out on her own. Corporate will be the same thing. At least that's my experience. I think sometimes we forget that we're dealing with human beings. It just means that the setting or the circumstance might be different, but bottom line, they're human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for that. And that is my experience too. And end of the day, there's going to be a human within the corporate kind of shell, or they're going to be outside of that shell. In this case, Brianna, you are your own business, and that's just as important as being in a corporate setting. End of the day, we're going to bring forward whatever's alive for us in a coaching session. It could be work related, it could be personally related, or right. I know it could be intertwined between two. But what I'm really hearing there, Anne, is you're always coaching the person, correct?
Yes. And the piece that's so important, I think, to pay attention to is, people think that in a corporate setting, your client won't become emotional. Oh, yes, they do. They're human. Oh, yes, they do. And it's not about making it wrong. It is who they are. It's honoring who they are, where they are when they're in this session. So yes, and emotional doesn't always mean that they might shed a tear or two. They might become agitated, frustrated, excited, who knows? But the emotions do run deep. It just really depends on what it is that we're talking about. Yes, it's always the person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I agree. Thank you for that. Just looking at the chat here. Any further questions from anybody that's in the chat? I want to make sure that the participation from everybody is really important here. So if there's anything that's come up with we just mentioned about the corporate setting or the individual setting, please post in the chat and we'll get to it here in a second. So we've got just over 10 minutes left. Anything, first of all, Brianna, that's come up for you since your coaching session and since the discussion so far?
No, I just feel like I got a free coaching session. So that's great. Thank you. And no,
I can send you the bill, Brianna. I
yeah,
mean,
I'll Venmo you. No, I think it was really good. Sometimes it's I find it's really helpful to learn how to be a coach by being coached. And so for me, I feel like I'm taking away a lot to put into practice with my own clients. So thank you for that. Yeah.